What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part 46 of my Total Warhammer 3 Kairos Fateweaver Immortal Empires campaign. So as we saw last time, Kairos has managed to destroy the Sentinels, destroying all 8, I want to say, of their armies, and thus ending the endgame scenario in a single turn, which is pretty good. He's also relatively unharmed with that and is ready to proceed to probably attack the dwarfs, but, well, I guess we'll see what we'll be fighting up here. It's also not super important. In terms of where we're heading towards the endgame of this campaign, I think we want to conquer Illustria before we're done here, mostly because these guys have stood in our way and have actually fought back with regards to using their jungle swarm spell annoying us, so now I want them all dead. Otherwise, I think we're going to switch up slightly our campaign methodology here, and the thing that we're probably going to do is... Alrighty, the plan is to try to start collecting vassals. Now, Throggy doesn't like us very much for our treaties with Clan Moors. We could break those treaties. ARCHAON is the third strongest faction on the map. You know what, let's try ARCHAON. And the plan here is pretty simple. What we're going to do is we're going to reveal Shroud on ARCHAON, I guess. Like so. And we're gonna take a look at his settlements. So we got Crystal Spires as a tier 4, we got Howling Citadel at tier 3, we got... we can't take the Writhing Fortress, that's his capital. Plains of Zhenbaijin is also a tier 4, Floating Mountain is not a Dark Fortress, and Challenge Stone is a tier 1. Okay, well, let's say the Plains of Zhenbaijin. And what we're going to do is we're going to transfer it to ourselves. Transfer settlement, Plains of Zhenbaijin to us. Now, he shouldn't care about this. And the reason that we've done this is that we're going to immediately try to transfer it back to ARCHAON for massive amounts of relationship, and obviously try to vassalize him that way. So, trade settlements, Plains of Zhenbaijin. Well, that... oh, no, okay, wait, it's not gonna work in the same turn, is it? It'll need to go to the next turn. Okay. So what we'll do here is we'll build some basic buildings. And the reason I want to build some stuff here is that just so that there's something happening in here, so that the place is worth more when we trade it. I don't know if that'll work, but it's definitely not going to be worth 3. It's a territory that's a tier 4 as we took it. Alright, and then we'll save up well, maybe we'll save up some money and then trade it for him. We won't spend any money on military buildings, let's go with that. And then hopefully we can get ARCHAON, and then in 7 turns we'll try Grimgor or whoever. Although Grimgor really doesn't like us, does he? Damn. I wonder if we'll start having to fight him. But honestly, I'd rather just have the Chaos Forces join us, especially since they're up north and kind of away from us, so we can just crush the world from the south and the north at the same time. Alrighty, now that that's done, let's start moving. Kairos, you're heading out to the dwarfs, and away you go up here, I guess. Vindex, you're going to follow Kairos around. I guess you're also going to be fighting the dwarfs, so you're going to have some units join you as well. I think that's why I summoned these two. Are they Keymasters? Let's just find out. Oh, wait, do we even want them in here over the cultists? I mean, I suppose that they would have spells. You're a Herald of Tzeentch. And you have all the Tzeentchian spells. I mean, you could have at least one that's a metal iridescent horror like you. You're confident, eh? What about you? You're a weapon master. Okay, you I don't think we care about. I think maybe we summon these guys to get them out. And maybe replaced by better ones. And so we got Corruptor and Pinion, then we got Intelligent and Weapon Master. Okay, I don't care about either of those. Unearthly Reflexes and Iron Skin. There's some good Chaos Sorcerers of Tzeentch available as heroes. Especially the Iron Skin ones, especially if we put these guys on the mounts. Okay, well, I guess we'll have you join this army. I kind of don't want to get rid of the high-tier pink horrors. We also want more cultists in here to get even more pink horrors. But I guess one of these guys, just for the lore of metal, to be able to provide the horrors with the glittering robe, seems like it would be worth our time. So, you know what, let's get you two. Join, oh, well, I guess all of you. Join into one unit. Like so, and then you can join this army. Alrighty, Voljax. You, my friend, have to ferry these troops all the way over to Iber. Gonna take a while for you to get there, but you'll get there eventually. Now, I do believe we wanted to try to summon some cultists as well. I mean, we did last time, but there may always be more cultists. We got a Corruptor and an Aggressive. Now, you know what, let's summon that Chaos Sorcerer with the Iron Skin. We may not get a better one. Lore of Tzeentch, of course, but, you know, nonetheless. Iron Skin, I would have preferred a Lore of Metal, but it would be a waste not to summon him. Alrighty, nice. Next up, Garrulus. You are still fighting the Orcs, and we could send you around to hit Black Crag next. Scarby looks like he's going to attack the Pillars of Grugny and Mount Squidhorn, but he can have them. We don't really care about that territory, to be honest. Let's get Black Crag instead. Like so. Oh, come on. There you go. Why are you making that so difficult, game? Alrighty, that's you. Iber. You could head up to Karak Dromar and take that if you want, especially if these guys aren't a threat. Or we could just ignore it. How powerful is this faction? I mean, they'll probably send an army down. The annoying thing would be is if they attack the Forest of Gloom, which probably can't defend itself. They're not at war with the Golden Order either. You know what, we probably could have... Alright, Changing of the Ways, Forswear, I got 5 more turns until that. Alrighty, you know what, just stay as you are. Also, Lucas Keymaster, were you gonna join Iber, or were you going to... Or were you going to join Garrulus? We probably could use another cultist in here. And the Screamers are going to get replaced by Doom Knights. You know what? Follow the army around for now. We'll wait until the Screamers are replaced. Actually, speaking of the Doom Knights, do we have them on Voljax? No. So we need to build them. Or we could use the Recruiter of Fate to recruit them. But it's going to cost like 10k, isn't it? To recruit them via global recruitment. Where are the Doom Knights? It's going to cost like 8k. If we could have a recruitment reduction of some sort... that would be swell. Alright, none of this helps with the recruitment reduction. You already have the recruitment reduction thing, as well as Draft Master. Oh. Renowned and Feared gets recruit rank, but it doesn't increase recruitability, unfortunately. Yeah, I get some Grimoires. Why not? I guess we'll try to get that thing next. Alrighty, I'm gonna hold off on the Doom Knights for now. We can always get them later, which means keep the Screamers as they are. Iber, I guess we're gonna head you down to Karak Drawn then, while Garrulus heads for Black Crag. I really hope these guys don't come around, but we'll see. Well, I guess we could run this way then. March stance right here to the edge of the territory, and you can follow along. Hey, I told you to follow along. I guess he got stopped, which is perfectly fine. There we go. Iber, you're in a good place now. You guys are in position. Does anybody want to have a battle? Kronos. Oh, right, we halted to Henna. Oh, well. Okay, this is auto-resolvable. It's just a pile of skinks. What about this? It's also a pile of skinks, but there's 2 armies here instead of 1. Plus a Slan, plus the Garrison. I think we fight this one and auto-resolve this one, mostly because this is pathetic. I don't know why you... I mean, I guess that you do buff skinks, but these are skink cohorts. They're not even any of the better skink units. If it was a pile of Chameleon Stalkers, or if it was a pile of... I mean, even Javelin skinks would have been a lot better here. This is a waste of our time. So, you're just gonna attack this. And he's going to run, unsurprisingly. And you're gonna do it again. Yeah, low casualties, go figure. It's chosen against piles of garbage skinks. I'm sure he'll be back with, hopefully, a much better army. That did damage to our chariots and basically no damage to our chosen, which is roughly what I was expecting. Let's get Devour Captives. And... oh, you never had the defeat to Henneman trade. Oh, but you're gonna get replaced anyway. You're not gonna be leading this army. Probably could have actually switched out the Lord before attacking, but whatever, too late. The Southern Sentinels. Oh, it doesn't have a garrison building. Ouch. Too bad for you, Southern Sentinels. I guess we're gonna attack you as well. Nice. And we shall occupy it rather than sacking it. And we gotta take away a lot of Kronos' stuff. Now, you can build stuff here, but we probably don't need to. Keep the growth building. You could collect the income, I guess, and ooh, Winds of Magic Manipulation, let's get that up and running. Down, down, up. Oh, well, I guess up, up, and yeah. In fact, wait, we should check the Magic Manipulation everywhere, just in case. I feel like I haven't done it in a couple turns. Although that could be me just being paranoid. It's like leaving your stove on or leaving your door unlocked or something. I always seem to think that I forgot to do the Winds of Magic Manipulation. Anyway, that looks good to me. We can build walls here immediately and then get money there as well. You're actually... You probably should switch to the Infernal Citadel for now. Yeah, that's fine. Alrighty, and I think, Fire, it's time for you to fight. Now we could do a jump ambush on the Decapad here. But I think we'll just fight it straight up. Seems like a fun fight. And there we go, we got the garrison, we got 2 armies, lots of skinks there of course, but I do think it'll be a better army than against what Tehenowan had. Plus this army is a little bit weaker than the army that's full of Chosen, of course, so should make for a good time if nothing else. Let's get to it cinematically.
Enemy Kairos come. I shall shatter their minds, reduce them to dust.
Alrighty, well, Kairos has already led the way by shattering plenty of mines. Not as many lizard mines, mind you, as it was only the last defenders, but, well, I'm sure he's shattering mines from across the ocean on the other continent. He doesn't need to be present. Anyway, here we go. Looks like we're going to be facing off against a decent amount of Itza and a little bit of Cult of Sotek lizards. Now, this means that if Itza is the main army here, they don't have access to the jungle swarm, so we're not really afraid of setting up nice and blobbily. We got a lovely little hill for us to set up on that we will hold, and I think that, well, this is a pretty darn advantageous position. Obviously, our units of Chaos Warriors are out front. They do have spaces in between them so that if our Flamers need to move behind them, they can fire through the gaps, of course. We also have our Chaos Sorcerer on his War Shrine right in the center, where hopefully enemies will die directly around him. Behind them all are our 3 units of Pink Horrors and our 2 units of Poison Wind Globadiers, who we just gotta make sure that they arc over stuff and fire stuff that's moving rather than at our own units. And then, of course, our 2 units of Flesh Hounds and our Chaos Knights of Tzeentch in the back as a reserve. Now obviously we're going to open up the battle by moving in our casters, and I decided that we only really need our Lord to cast Pink Fires. The Searing Dooms from our hero are probably not going to be super useful here, and the enemy is certainly not blobbed up enough to bother with an arcane or not an arcane, rather a final transmutation. Looks like the enemy is going to start off by trying to hit us with a fireball, which is going to smack into the trees, and some shots from that solar engine. Though, of course, the solar engine has to break its shots both through the trees as well as through the barrier of our Lord. So I think they'll be fine. Alrighty, well, we're going to start working on the enemy. Another tree block for that solar engine. Quite a nice position for us, and this particular enemy army does not have a lot of ranged units. In fact, they only have the solar engine by the looks of it, and the Oracle, I guess. Oh, the Oracle's probably going to be doing some damage, though, because it can actually shoot through trees fairly decently. Okay, well, we'll have to watch out for that, but I'm sure we'll do more damage to them than they will do to us. The enemy reinforcements, or at least some of the enemy reinforcements, are arriving in 20 seconds and then more in 10. Though weirdly, these guys are arriving in just the worst place. I assume that they can move through this, but I'm not actually entirely sure. I feel like, I don't know. Man, can you set up artillery up here? Just like a bunch of artillery pieces, a bunch of mortars or something, and just firing down on everything from here where they're basically unreachable, or even range units generally speaking. I guess this was actually terrible for lizards because their ranged units, other than salamanders, don't arc So, yeah. For lizards, it's not the best, but for multiple other factions, I'm sure it's fine. Anyway, we've done some damage. One of the enemy units of skink cohorts is destroyed, and we've done some damage to a unit of Saurus, as well as another unit of skinks, and I'm pretty happy with that. Looks like the enemy army has moved onto the field, and it does seem that, unfortunately, they are actually bugged. They can't move here, or they can't get out. Maybe this place is actually blocked, I don't know, but it does seem that they're stuck, and since that is going to be the case, we're just gonna fly over and kill them all. Because, I mean, we're not coming back here with our entire army just to deal with this. In that light, we will be casting some spells. A Firestorm of Tzeentch, and now that I think about it, maybe we could have also used the Infernal Gateway on top of this blob of skinks, but honestly, we just really need them to rout off the field, because once again, they're not going to fight. And I also didn't want to waste too much mana on stuck units, as we will probably need it to actually fight the enemy army, which is now heading towards ours. Balance of power is about even, though I do imagine it'll change slightly once these guys are off the field. And it does look like our Firestorm is doing a pretty good job. Speaking of Firestorm, we have a second one coming down, and all those skinks have been cleared out. Probably a little bit of damage to the other units in here. Actually, the horned ones didn't really take too much damage there. But good. With all those skinks gone, it does look like these Saurus Scarvets are still not moving through there, so I guess they're all stuck. Unfortunate, but what can you do? I guess that's the AI, and, let's just chalk it up, as we have done many a time in this campaign before, to Tzeentchian shenanigans. Anyway, let's speed it up a little bit as we allow the enemy army to fly forward, or to move forward, while we move back with our lord, minus the fact that he's going to stop and try to annoy this enemy Bastiladon for a little while. I feel like he could take it in a one-on-one, but I guess we'll find out. And down here, we do have some units of Cold One Riders, not Spear Riders, as well as a unit of Horned ones. You heard me. This isn't a Slaneshi campaign. Charging uphill, and we're going to just charge them with our own Knights of Tzeentch while our Flesh Hounds hit them in the sides and the back. I think in a one-on-one... actually, who would win in a one-on-one? Horned ones versus Knights of Tzeentch. Horned ones are more of a damage-dealing unit, whereas Knights of Tzeentch are more of a defensive sort of cavalry unit. Granted, I mean, don't get me wrong, they deal damage, but they're more heavily defensive, with that 61 melee defense greater than their melee attack, as compared to the 52 and 37 of the Horned ones. Hard to say. I feel like if they're both fully buffed, I feel like the Horned ones would win, but I could be wrong. They do, see, the thing is, the Horned ones have armor piercing, and the Chaos Knights of Tzeentch do not. They do have magical damage, though. Anyway, this is not a proper matchup right now, mostly because the enemy has the Spear Riders attacking, but a nice little cavalry duel is not something we get too often, so we might as well enjoy it while we can. I'm sure we'll have a few more cavalry duels as the campaign continues, as we are building a few more forces with more cav, chariots, Doom Knights, and all that sort of stuff, now that we have higher tier military buildings. Looks like the enemy army is slowly making its way up the hill. It's not quite there yet, but we'll be able to switch to the main location soon, and just before we do, let's check what the damage is. Looks like we've dropped below half HP on the Chaos Knights of Tzeentch, and the Horned ones are just a little bit below half HP themselves. We do have now a unit of Chaos Warriors of Tzeentch with halberds that have moved down to help, as well as the Flesh Hounds, of course, hitting all those individual units at the same time, which I assume is really helping the Knights not be dead, but they're still quite badly damaged. I even popped a Glittering Robe on them to reduce their damage further, as I was a little bit concerned. Anyway, back to the main fight here. We have moved our flamers forward, and they're going to start on those poor skinks. Alright, well, our demons will have delicious fried skink to eat. And there we go, the rest of our range units are going to follow suit. Unfortunately, the hill did prevent our second unit of flamers from firing, but at least this one can fire, and so can the arcing units, i.e. the Poison Winds, as well as the Pink Horrors. Enemy's going to have a little bit of a tough time getting to our actual army. We're also going to stop them from charging by casting a Searing Doom, and that'll allow the flamers to continue their work. Lovely. It's quite a nice position when we don't have the jungle swarm to worry about. Oh, it looks like a few of those enemies made it through, and of course it was Saurus that made it through rather than Skinks, which does make sense. The rest of our units can, however, continue working, and this is not looking so great for the enemy. And we've certainly had a lot of battles in this particular campaign where it's lizards charging uphill while we hold. And I suppose reliance on that strategy was part of what made the jungle swarms so dangerous, as we could no longer blob up on hills like that. Alrighty, well, the battle is well and truly joined. These spaces between our army working out quite well, in my opinion, as the enemy are getting burninated. An infernal gateway coming down, though it looks like most of the enemy forces are already in extremely bad shape. There is an oracle that is firing on us, but we can only switch fire to it once everybody else is done for. We're also distracting the enemy lord, which is by itself, and fighting those Chaos Warriors of Tzeentch, and I'm perfectly happy to leave it there rather than having fire to duel with it, because, well, fire's quite damaged. Over on this side, the Chaos Knights of Tzeentch are still fighting, but are now dropping down to 26 units, and we're gonna have to try to move them away and behind the Chaos Warriors of Tzeentch, who are a lot less hurt. The enemy Horned Ones, however, are pretty much dead, and it does look like they seem to want to fight to the end. They're not unbreakable. They just have 14 leadership, and it's just that they refuse to rout. Interesting. And this is considering the Fleshhounds were chasing them and then hitting them in the back and the sides as well. Well, good for the Horned Ones. Been reasonably impressed with the lizards and fighting them so far. Pretty happy with the results of the invasion of Lustria. Especially as it got a little bit too easy elsewhere. Now we got a Searing Doom coming down. Our lord drops down on the enemy Skinks as well, and they immediately start running. There are still a few Kroxigors to switch to, as our lord will start killing them. Speaking of switching to, our Pink Horrors as well as our Poison Winds are all now going to start going after this Oracle here, while our Flamers continue burninating the enemy as they run away. But otherwise, it looks like the battle is just about ours. Mostly the enemy units have been destroyed. There's a couple Skink Priests fighting in the middle here, but our Chaos Warriors, as well as our Chaos Sorcerer, will take care of them, I'm sure. And the Skink Oracle is now dropping, being focus fired by all 5 of our ranged units, not counting the Flamers, and the balance of power is, let's say, 60%-ish, maybe 65%-ish in our favor. But that's more than enough. Or at least it should be. The enemy just doesn't have the troops to do anything anymore, and they really haven't made it properly up the hill at any point. In fact, our Chaos Warriors really aren't even that hurt. They're mostly fine. And I guess me watching our Poison Wind Globadiers and making sure that they don't hit our own melee line probably prevented a considerable amount of damage that we have taken in the past in similar situations. Alrighty, and it looks like with that, the Oracle, while not dead, is just about out of the picture. He's broken, he's going to give a run. Get a run for it, rather. We are also going to switch our range units to targeting this Bastillodon, who is still firing and is still looking like he wants to go after our lord. I guess he's salty. He's salty about first attacking our lord and missing so many shots through those trees, and then afterwards our lord landing on him and preventing him from supporting his army. Poor little guy. Alrighty, and he should be just about done as well. I don't know who's more effective at these guys, Poison Winds or Pink Horrors. I'm gonna assume that it's Poison Winds because of the anti-large and the fact that they, I believe, are armor piercing as well. Whereas the Pink Horrors not so much. Anyway, with that, it looks like the battle is ours. The Skink Priests are running. The Lord is surrounded and trapped via the Gaze of Fate, as our Lord has finally dropped down on him as well. And he's going to try to run away. Hey, don't knock him out of the press. You need to still actually kill him, which I'm sure you're capable of doing, as he's got 1 or 2 more hits remaining, maybe. And I just want to see the death animation before we call this a battle. Come on. Drop him now. There you go. Oh my, that was bloody. He lost his head. Well, I guess I'm glad that we watched that one. Alrighty, everybody else give some... Oh, wait. maybe the battle isn't quite over. I assumed that because most of the enemy army shattered that it had ended, but no, the Oracle has decided to move back into the fray. Probably not the best of ideas, as all of our ranged units are here to see it off once more. Lots of those shots are landing in the water. And come on, just make sure that he dies this time. And there we go. Perfect. Now we don't have to chase him off and, it looks like he's standing in the water. Never seen that before. Actually, it's not been often that I've seen units die in the water like the... Okay. He's doing a dance for us. I guess he's gonna keep doing that. Wait, what about the mount? No? No, see, that thing looks... Oh, and he disappeared. That was very strange, but I'm sure not something that it would surprise our Tzeentchian friends. Anyway, I'm gonna speed it up. We're gonna give chase to whatever we can, which is mostly via our Fleshhounds, as the rest of our army is probably too slow to chase. A close victory, but it really wasn't that close. I feel like this is due mostly to ammunition and mana being spent, rather than it actually being a close victory, because we really didn't take that much damage. Alrighty, pretty fun fight. A little bit of a shame about this secondary reinforcing army and it getting stuck up on top of the map, but at the end of the day I don't think it would have made much of a difference, as most of the reinforcing forces were of the skink cohort variety, so who the heck cares? They weren't going to make any kind of difference. Also, most of our Chaos Warriors were actually pretty fine, and so were the Pink Horrors. In fact, we didn't really take all that much damage there, did we? Very nice. Very nice. Now, we will probably want to auto-resolve the remnants of this, so I guess we're going to want to heal up rather than take the money, even if we do want said money for confederating, or vassalizing rather, Archaon. Campaign line of sight from Mentash, great, you guys are all dead. Now, can we move? No, we can't move, so we have to directly attack this. Alright, that's fine. We should be able to auto-resolve this, I think. Hopefully the knights aren't dead. Nope, we're fine. Oh, well, I guess there really isn't much left, so auto-resolve this. Probably take a little bit of damage, and then heal up so that you can heal to full next turn, I suppose. And a Banner of Eternal Flame, very nice pickup. Lovely. And then we're gonna occupy the place. Beautiful. We do not need the Warpstone Locust here. We can keep the Lattice of Distortion. I guess we'll collect the income for now. We could change it up later, but honestly it's not going to make much of a difference. And there we go. Very, very nice. That makes for a lot less armies that we have to deal with, at least for the next couple turns. They are still recruiting, so they'll get their armies back, but we do have time to make some headway. I'm quite tempted to get a third temporary army down here as well, and just to deal with this stuff specifically. I mean, we do have Yartok's little army here that was, that was serving the exact purpose of defending against these guys, and it does look like they might... You know what? Faction intentions, that's what we need to see. We can't see the ones that we need. Looks like Itza wants to come down and attack us, but with this little army, I don't think they could really do anything. You know, I'll think about it, but if we didn't need the money rather for Archaon right now, I would definitely spend it on another army. Anyway, let's move everybody else around. I'd really like to end the turn and see if we can succeed with getting Archaon to become our vassal with the little plan that we've got. Rickard, you are moving north as well. You're what? You're a keymaster? No, you're confident. Why do we have you? Why do we have a confident? Oh, is it because we don't have it? We probably didn't have a better choice, did we? And we can't build any here either. Cultists, I mean. Gotta keep an eye out on better cultists, which we did check earlier and we didn't see any better ones, so yeah. Chant Horseman, I almost read that as Horseman, because he's on a horse. We really also need to get these armies together, because they're gonna swap most of their units around. They're a little bit backwards right now, as fire is not good at leading soldiers. As in infantry, as in non-demonic infantry. Yeah. Anyway, Yartolk, do you want to heal up for another turn and go for that shipwreck? I really prefer that you auto-resolve, so you know what, let's just get you a couple more blue horrors. And you can keep auto-resolving these islands for a little while yet, until Itza possibly comes to us. We also can't see what's going on in the territories of Bordello. Bordello Errant, specifically. You know what, maybe we want to reveal Shroud on them as well. Just in case. They're weak, but they might still try to attack us. Oh, actually, they're not as weak as I thought. They also have these territories up here. Alright, and I take it they're fighting Rakarth. How's Rakarth doing, by the way? You know what? I'd like to get Rakarth to be our vassal. It seems like it maybe we could join forces with him. We'll see. Now, in terms of buildings, we do have a lot, but honestly, I'm kind of... Ooh, wait. Okay, we do want to upgrade the Great Desert of Araby. But... maybe we want to hold on to the rest of our cash here. We've moved everybody. And I really want ARCHAON to join us, so you know what? Let's not build anything for one turn. I think we'll be okay. I don't see anything major that could change if we don't do that. Plus we're out of time and I really want to see the result with ARCHAON. We built everything here, yes? Yes, we did. Alrighty, let's end the turn and let's see if this works out for us.
Our fates are entwined. Do not mistake this for alliance.
I would never mistake it for alliance, and it looks like Imrik wants to declare war on us. Interesting, interesting. Kind of odd, but we are now appearing on his border. Well, we might as well start conquering his stuff as well. I mean, doesn't this look silly? Look at the balance of power here. Why would you do this? If anything, he should be trying to appease us. I really always find it weird that this game's diplomacy is programmed in this way. Yeah, so you're a tiny little faction that could be absolutely crushed by another faction who are now bordering you, and you decide, oh, you know what? I'm gonna piss these guys off. Out of all the factions, these are the guys I want to piss off. The #1 strongest superpower. Okay, well, good luck with that. Good luck, Imrik. You're gonna need it, buddy. And we're gonna destroy your dwarven allies as well. Not because you did this, but you know. They will suffer more because you did this. Hey, Scarby managed to take the Pillars of Grugny. Let's lead him to take the next nearby territory. If he has more territories, I'd be perfectly happy with it. And I'm perfectly willing to give him most of the dwarfs' territories as well. Alrighty, moment of truth. Will this work? Ally mobilizes, ally occupies. Ambusher discovered, faction destroyed. That's all irrelevant. First of all, you. Occupy Mount Squighorn. Then, ARCHAON. Okay, minus 74, pretty steep, but we kept 82,000 gold, and we can give you back the Plains of Zamba. We don't even need to pay. Beautiful. Now, the unfortunate aspect of this is that he's going to piss off Wintertooth. This will break his alliances or agreements with them. And it'll also break the trade agreements with anybody who he's not vassalized with, I think. Or maybe even his vassals as well. On the other hand, this gives us 4 vassals. So that's pretty nice. You know what? Keep your money, ARCHAON. You're gonna need it up here, because we're not helping you up here. You're gonna have to do it all your own. Good luck, buddy. Propose offer. And there you go. So this is the beginning of the plan. We simply wait, and every 7 turns we take a massive settlement, the biggest settlement we can get, like the Plains of Zhenbaijin at their tier 4, traded back to the faction that originally owned it for vassalization. Now, suddenly, we have an absolutely massive amount of vassals up here. Looks like... Oh, wait, that's weird. Normally, Throg would dislike this, as in he would hate ARCHAON for breaking his defensive alliance, but apparently not this time around. Oh, well, I'm probably going to break the defensive alliance with Clan Morse. And just let them die. And part of the reason for doing that, I think, is just to get Throg to join us. If we take the lair of the Troll King from him, or he doesn't own the lair of the Troll King. Well, we want the lair of the Troll King. And wait, is he fighting Molder? He's not fighting Molder. Is Molder alive? I guess we'll check it next time. Anyway, we have plans for getting all of these guys vassalized. We can hope that it all works out, but we're gonna have to find out next time, as well as the continuation of the attack on Lustria, and whatever the heck we're doing up here. Looks like Cetra's come back as well. Unfortunately, our Skaven allies didn't manage to kill him, and we may actually have to send either Iber or Garrulus up there to deal with him. Or try to force him into a war with, well, I guess he's fighting the undead here, but he could just jump over to Grunty Mingle, which is kind of annoying. Anyway, something to be dealt with next time. Stay tuned for more Big Bird. Don't forget to leave a like and comment. All glory to the algorithm. And thanks for watching.
Of change.